An effort to stall a vote for Judge Brett Kavanaugh is falling apart. The deadline now given to the Supreme Court nominee's accuser.
It was at some points a very heated debate, but I think it was honest at the same time.
Trading insults in front of a riveted crowd. The breakdown of the issues discussed at last night's gubernatorial debate in Dayton.
Well, it seems more like July than late September. That is about to change. I'm tracking the game-changer cold front that will impact your plans for Friday, but bring in a fall-like weekend.
This is WLWT News 5 Today, leading the way.
Thanks for being here and present on this Thursday. A nice shot, clear, and across the Ohio River into downtown Cincinnati at 6 o'clock. 72 degrees. Lots going on here on Cincinnati's WLWT News 5 Today for you this morning. It is good to see you. I'm Powell Mayfield.
I'm Lisa Cooney. Your headlines are straight ahead, but we're talking about the forecast on this Thursday. Randy's here with details on a hot day ahead. The 30-something day in the 90s, Randy. We're pushing 100 today.
Oh, well, it feels like 100.
Feels like.
It seems like 100 is what we should say, is that it feels like. But yeah, I treated the kids to ice cream before dinner last night. It was so hot after school. All right, so we're talking about temperatures that are very close to 90 degrees this afternoon for, I don't know how many days in a row, 3 or 4 days at this point. It's 36 days total where we've gone to temperatures up into the 90s. Starting out, though, in the 70s. Let's take a look. 72 degrees currently at CVG. Most places upper 60s, low 70s. It's 73 in Springboro, 74 in Florence, 67 on the state line there in Harrison. So another muggy morning. Mostly clear skies here to start the day, and the radar looks nice and dry. Now, much like the last few days, it's hot, it's humid. I know it's September, but go back to that midsummer mindset where there is the potential for a pop-up shower or storm mid-afternoon, 3 to 6 o'clock, those warmest hours of the day. A brief downpour is a possibility, but you're far more likely to see your rain tomorrow. Looking at your forecast for today, 9 a.m. 73, noon 83, and then maybe a pop-up storm mid-afternoon as those temperatures hang out near 90 and feel like basically 100. If you are sick of this sticky, sweaty streak, there is an end in sight, but we need to bring through some thunderstorms, and that may mess up your plans tomorrow night. We're talking football and festivals with lightning, which is never a good combination. So I'm tracking hour by hour those storms and how they impact your evening coming up in a couple of minutes. Vanessa, what's happening on the roads?
Yeah, not a whole lot. We've had a great traffic morning so far. I don't have any accidents to tell you about. Of course, we're not really in the heart of morning rush hour yet, but it looks optimistic so far. Here's a live look downtown on I-71. You can see things look great there. Kind of a wide view of I-74 at North Bend Road. No complaints in this area. Moving along nicely. And then one of the areas that ramps up during the morning rush hour, I-75 at Galbraith Road. Kind of the back corner view there looks fine as well. So we'll watch travel times. We'll talk about construction. And like Randy said, a very busy weekend in Cincinnati ahead. We'll talk more about that coming up. Colin, back to you.
All right, Vanessa, thank you. We'll see you soon. For the first time, the 2018 candidates for Ohio governor faced off in a debate.
Democrat Richard Cordray and Republican Mike DeWine battled over a range of topics, spending a lot of time talking about the opioid crisis. WLWT News 5's Andrew Setters live in our newsroom with the recap. Andrew.
Yeah, they talked about the opioid crisis. They talked about education. They even talked about recreational marijuana. Mostly what they talked about was each other's record, with each candidate accusing the other of not doing enough for Ohio when they had the opportunity. Mike DeWine has been Ohio's Attorney General for 8 years. Richard Cordray spent 2 years in that same office. DeWine repeatedly brought up rape kits that went untested by the state crime lab before he came into office. When it came to education, Cordray accused DeWine of letting the online charter school ECOT steal $189 million right under his nose. The heroin and opioid crisis was another hot issue, with Cordray claiming 10,000 Ohioans would still be alive if DeWine had done more as Attorney General.
Our drug courts are a great way to get anybody who is an addict into treatment. But if you take away any penalty for that possession, there's nothing holding over that person's head.
But you have been in charge of this opioid crisis for the last 8 years. And the fact that we would listen to you now on drug policy would be like asking for navigation advice from the captain of the Titanic.
Yeah, things got a little personal there. One of the issues the two candidates did agree on, getting to the truth on the accusations involving Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. They've got 2 more debates to go before voters choose which one of these 2 men will become Ohio's next governor. Live in the newsroom, Andrew Setters, WLWT News 5.
Andrew, thank you. New drama this morning between a Senate committee and Judge Brett Kavanaugh's accuser.
The head of the panel is giving her until tomorrow to decide whether she'll participate in a hearing that's supposed to happen next week. WLWT News 5's Nicole Killian is in Washington, where her lawyers continue to insist on an investigation.
Colin and Lisa, the head of the Senate Judiciary Committee, is giving Christine Blasey Ford until tomorrow morning to submit a statement. Otherwise, he may move on.
I'm not worried about anything other than just focusing for the next few days on encouraging her to come.
Senator Chuck Grassley said Dr. Ford can testify publicly or privately. Her lawyers say the rush to hearing is unnecessary and want an FBI investigation first. President Trump said the FBI has already examined Judge Kavanaugh's background and cast doubt on Ford's claims.
I can only say this: he is such an outstanding man. Very hard for me to imagine that anything happened.
The president said he wants to see what Ford has to say and believes senators have given her time. As of now, the hearing is still on for Monday. In Washington, Nicole Killian, WLWT News 5.
Ford has contended that a house party in the 1980s, a drunken Kavanaugh tried undressing her and pinning her to a bed before she ran away.
A government employee is in jail on OVI charges after police say she drove the wrong way down I-275. Police got several calls Monday about someone driving westbound in the eastbound lanes of 275 right near Colerain Avenue. Police say that driver was Susan Zillick, a supervisor for the Hamilton County Public Defender's Office. John Ellinghausen says that he's glad to be alive after nearly being hit head-on by Zillick.
I went over into the right lane. Luckily, there was no other traffic, just this car and me. Went over in that lane, and sure enough, I saw that car coming over too. They crossed the line like they're going to hit me head on. I could tell they were going to crash. There was no slowing down. They were going to hit something or somebody.
Police say they finally stopped Zillick, that she smelled of alcohol and was unaware of what was going on. Officers also found pills in her Jeep. We're told Zillick is now on paid administrative leave.
Many questions still remain after the Princeton High School football team has to forfeit all their wins already this season. Alexis Rogers at the school this morning with what they hope to learn at a meeting tonight because of this. Alexis.
Well, hey, good morning to you, Colin. You know, as far as the Princeton Vikings football team, they started it off pretty strong this season. This time last week, they were 3-1. Well, now they've received a call on Sunday that says that they will now have to forfeit those wins because of an ineligible player hitting the field and them finding out about it. The Ohio School Athletic Association confirmed a Princeton player did not have the academic requirements to be on the field. The consequence, Princeton has to forfeit all 3 of its wins. The superintendent says the district has a procedure in place to check the eligibility of players, but that process was not followed. He says it wasn't intentional, but students deserve better. This is a hard pill to swallow, especially for the seniors who were on their way to the playoffs.
For them to do all that work all over the summer and then off-season lifting, it's a lot. And then for them to go 3-1 and then just lose it all like one day, I know it's just hard to take.
This team does have the chance to try to make the playoffs, but they would have to win every single game from now until playoff time. Now, there will be a meeting here at 8 p.m. for the public and the community, as well as the administrators, to talk about what happened and to try to find a solution. Alexis Rogers, WLWT News 5.
Alexis, thank you. 6:08 right now. This morning, you'll see a flurry of activity along the Great Miami River, but don't worry, it's just a drill. WLWT News 5's Natalie Clark live there now to explain what's going to go on. Natalie, good morning.
Hey, Lisa, yeah, good morning. And it is just a drill. It's important to keep that in mind. But in just a few hours, there will be multiple agencies on the water here for an EMA pipeline exercise. 15 area agencies will participate in a full-scale disaster exercise, including the Red Cross Disaster Services. Now, the scenario for today's drill is a ruptured underground jet fuel pipeline leaking contaminants into the Great Miami River. During the drill, the Red Cross will open and staff a shelter house to role-play residents evacuated as a result of the mock disaster. Drills like these are treated as real-life disasters, giving agencies the opportunity to work together and to correct any issues they might come across. Now, the mock disaster will start here at 8 8 a.m. and it will run until about noon today. Reporting live, Natalie Clark, WLWT News 5.
Thank you, Natalie. A shooting rampage leaves 2 people dead at a Pennsylvania senior living facility.
Why officials say the danger is not over yet.
And President Trump bringing words of comfort to the Carolinas, his promise to areas hardest hit by Hurricane Florence.
Over to All right, more muggy weather as you step out this morning. Temperatures near 70 degrees through sunrise here, and as we go into tomorrow, still starting out with the muggy air, but it will feel much better by the time you wake up on Saturday morning. There's a big change coming. It'll get here by the weekend, but your Friday night may get messed up by some thunderstorms. We'll talk about the potential for strong storms and when they're most likely to roll through your town's football game tomorrow night when we come back.